Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Live Boldly with Sara. Today we're going to be talking about the difference between fitting in versus belonging. When you are belonging to yourself, you know who you are to the depth, to the core, your values. You don't change for other people because you simply know, like you know, I use those phrases a lot, who you are. You belong to yourself first. Fitting in is where we are changing who we are to account for how other people live their life, right? And so I want to give you 10 really good tips to stand in who you are, in your values, in your personal leadership, walking in your truth, and knowing, like you know, that you belong to self first. I want to just share something with you, though, that happened. Okay. This is so funny. I was up taking a shower before I jumped into this podcast episode, and I received a text message from a dear friend, Garrett. I had led him on a Grand Canyon retreat quite a few years ago. I don't even remember when it was. I think it was pre-2020. And he sent me this text and he said, Sara, oh my gosh, did you just happen to lead this other woman through the Grand Canyon last week? Because she lives near me and she was at yoga talking to another dear friend, a mutual friend, and said that she just got back from the Grand Canyon and she had this exceptional experience. And this friend sent me a text and said, I think it was with Sara. And so the thing is this world is so small. This world, it's so vast, right? Like I can stand in the middle of the mountains or in the Grand Canyon and feel this awe, this wonder of how large and expansive that everything is. This world is filled with so much abundance, and I am one person. And with that, this world is also so small. We are so connected because sure enough, that was me. And so to Garrett and to this beautiful, incredible woman that I just led through the Grand Canyon, I can't wait for the two of you to come together and meet and to share this experience with one another, because that's what this is about. We are creating these connections in life. And more so than anything, the reason that these work is because I teach you, right? I guide my clients how to belong to themselves first. When we continuously try to fit into these spaces, to other places, right, where we change who we are, we lose a part of ourselves. We lose that personal leadership. We lose that true north within us, this core of who we are, because we are becoming someone that we were not intended to be. And so when I'm guiding my clients, when I'm leading them through the Grand Canyon, through the San Juan Mountains, when I'm speaking on stage, this is huge. When I'm speaking on stage, and a lot of times I will lead people through a meditation, leaders, executives, clients, I will lead the audience through these incredible meditations that guide you back to who you are, to belong to yourself first, because that is where it all begins. You are not intended to be someone else. You were intended to be you. And we need more of you, your voice, your gifts in this world. So I'm going to give you 10 tips. I want you to go grab like, I don't know, sticky notes, something. Place them all over your house. These are reminders, 10 really good tools to guide yourself, right? To be in that space of belonging every single day. Lead with this: authenticity. That is number one. We need to be more authentic in who we are each and every day. And authenticity begins with finding those things that you love to do. It's not about finding what other people love to do. It's not about finding or speaking other people's thoughts or truths. It's about your own. Be authentic with who you are each and every day. We talk about this. Like, this is something that we hear people say. Authentic leaders, vulnerable leaders are the best leaders, right? That said, are we leading that in our own life each and every day? So be authentic to who you are. Find new spaces that really bring you alive. That's where you're going to find that authenticity. We lose that along the way in life because we try to fit into society's norms or to how other people want us to think or feel, right? And when we lose that authenticity with ourselves, we lose that belonging to self first. So that's key. The second thing is find your tribe. This is why I lead retreats. This is why I got into this, because as I was changing and shifting 10, 11 years ago through my own healing, I noticed that I was also changing so much that I was not connecting as well with the people around me. And that's not a bad thing. That is what happens when we continue to grow into this version of ourselves. And so I ended up creating this tribe, finding this community, creating this community that also would allow me to lift myself up. Your tribe is really, really important. If people around you are not supporting you or loving you to the extent that you are deserve to be, quite frankly, then you need to start looking at those people around you and saying, all right, this isn't a bad thing. I need to create this new tribe for myself. The Grand Canyon, the San Juan Mountains, my Alaska retreats, my audience, these are my tribe. And you are all my tribe. This community, you listening to me right now, you are a part of my tribe, and you always will be unless you choose to no longer be. And that's okay too, because we all have choices in life. And sometimes we need to step out and find this new version of self and then perhaps come back in again. So let's just do a little bit of a pivot here for a second. This Grand Canyon retreat that I just led. First of all, I led the USC men's water polo team down into the Grand Canyon first. That was on Friday, a couple weeks ago. It was incredible. Leading this group of men through this canyon and allowing them to become a tribe, this teamwork, this leadership, personal leadership first, belonging to self first, and then also really diving into what they can accomplish in their life personally, right? And together as a team. We did a lot of resilience work, problem solving work. It was absolutely mind-blowing and amazing. My son is co-captain of the team, and so I volunteered my time and took them down through this space. They are a tribe, and they are creating a deeper tribe through that experience, right? I led a retreat right after that. My 8 women through the Grand Canyon, myself and my dear friend Todd, and we created a tribe. This was a new tribe. This is a tribe of women that were, finding their own similarities through their differences. That was another tribe. I'm leading a tribe, which if you are interested, here's a little pivot for you. We still have a few spots left through the San Juan Mountains with me and Florence Williams. This is a different kind of tribe, right? And that tribe, we lead this retreat, Florence and I lead this retreat together through the San Juan Mountains outside of Telluride, and it is absolutely magnificent. And we create a tribe there. And having your tribe is also having those people that support you and love you through this experience that you are having together, and post that, right? That's what it's about. That's why we do these retreats. That's why I speak so deeply and passionately with my audience. That's why I lead them through this meditation, through this visualization, because they are a tribe in that room together at that moment and beyond. So find your tribe, because your tribe is so, so, so important. Build relationships. This is number 3. The one most important relationship that you can have is that relationship with yourself. That is key. And I talk about that quite a bit. The most important relationship you can have is that one with yourself. So build that relationship even more deeply with who you are, and you will have these connections outside of that with other people as well. This is what it is to belong to self first. Give your power to you and empower others through your own power. Number 4, contribute. You have to contribute in life, because we all have purpose, we all have passion. And it's about finding that purpose, that passion, that meaning, right, within your life, and contributing that to the outside world, to your own life, and to others' lives as well. I found that one of the most important things in my growth, in my healing, was me watching other people grow. I mean, I'm a teacher by nature. I was a teacher, an art teacher first before I got into this work. And teaching other people, guiding them through their space, allowed me to then rise even more into my own. And so contributing to this world gives us the purpose and the passion, right, that allows us to have meaning within our own life as well. So find something where spaces and places where you can contribute, and do it with love, with passion. Do it in a way that is really giving of your own gifts. Number 5, communicate with honesty. Honesty is one of the most important things that we can deliver to ourselves first, and also to other people. When you're looking in the mirror every single day, communicate with yourself in a place, in a way of truth and honesty. Do you love who you are? Are you creating a life where you feel alive? Not by other people's, not trying to fit in to what society expects. It's about belonging to yourself first. Are you communicating those needs, those wants, those visions, those ideas, those challenges? Are you communicating honestly with yourself each and every day? And if the answer is no, then we need to look at that. Look yourself directly in the eye, in the mirror, and ask yourself that very big question of why. Why am I not? And then dive more deeply into that. Number 6, set boundaries. Boundaries can be one of the most difficult things for people to set. In my book, and I can't give you the page right now, I'm sorry, I should know this. In my book, there is a really good script on how to set boundaries. I learned this from my former therapist and coach and now dear colleague, and I share it in my book, Walk Through This, Harness the Healing Power of Nature and Travel the Road to Forgiveness. Get in there. There's a whole section on there on setting boundaries, and do so. Here's the thing though. Most people, when they set a boundary, they have a problem following through. You have to follow through on your boundary when you set your boundary in order to create that space that is safe for yourself, right? In order to change your patterns in life. Because otherwise, if we're just going to say like, hey, this is my boundary, and if you overstep my boundary, XYZ is going to happen. And if we don't follow through with it, do you think that other person is really going to accept your boundary the next time? Probably not, because they know that you didn't really mean it. And so set that boundary fiercely and follow through with it fiercely as well. The next thing, 7, be vulnerable and open. Vulnerability, I already said that to you. Vulnerability and authenticity is the key to really good leadership, personal leadership in life. And in order for you to step into that next version of self, you have to be vulnerable with yourself, be open with yourself, be honest with yourself as well. When you're first honest and open with yourself, you can create more self-love and worthiness, and that will then be a mirror to what you are also going to bring into your own life. Model how you want to be for yourself, right? So model your own personal leadership and how you choose to show up every single day for you. And other people will witness that as well. That's also how you find your tribe. Because when you can be more deep in who you are, you're going to attract those people in your life that also where they want to be that way too. And so being vulnerable and authentic creates more belonging in your life. That is number 7. Number 8, acknowledge and embrace your differences. Oh my gosh, this is huge. Now, differences are amazing. You are not meant to be like everybody else. You are not meant to fit in to how other people are. You are meant to belong to yourself first. And that means acknowledging and embracing, embodying the differences of who you are. I'm going to tell you, I don't know many people like me, and that's a good thing. And what I mean by that is, and that's not from an ego space, that is from I truly love who I am and embody and embrace who I am. Right. And I want to be different than everybody else. I want to stand in a space of belonging to me first and saying, yeah, this is who I am. Like I'm confident in who I am. I was not always, let me tell you. It took a lot of courageous steps to build my confidence to get to this place of really being who I am. 10 years. It's been 10, almost 11 years of me doing this work. And it's through my differences that I also found similarities with other people. And that has really been key as well. Not being afraid to speak up, not being afraid to ask for help, not being afraid to speak my truth, even when the entire world was saying something different. And trust me, that happened many times. And there was a lot of flack that came back my way for speaking my truth. And I will always stand in my truth because that is me, right? That is the centrifugal force of who I am. And the same goes for you. That's where you're going to find your power. You are meant to be different than everybody else. That is a beautiful, beautiful gift of who you are. We also can't find our gifts unless we also allow ourselves to look at our differences, right? And so, because your gift is going to be different than everybody else. you're not meant to have the same gift as everyone else. And so being able to look vulnerably and authentically at our differences allows us to actually step into that gift that we can then bring into the world, which also, mind you, that goes back into, that space of contributing in life. You need to be able to embrace your differences so that you can also contribute in life in a way that works for you. Number 9 is be fiercely self-compassionate. I talk about this a lot. Every single year, I give myself a new word of how I want to be in this world, right? Belonging to myself. And for 2 years in a row, it was being fiercely compassionate, self-compassionate, because I was being really hard on myself. I am my worst critic. Don't feel the need to call me out on my own stuff because I've already done it over and over and over again. And there's many times where I've had to forgive myself over and over and over again because I've been so hard on me. And so being fiercely self-compassionate to yourself builds that self-love and that self-worthiness to then stand in who you are, to belong to yourself first. So often we look at our differences as negatives, right? And in reality, those are the positive traits of who we are. And so being able to be fiercely self-compassionate when you have been mean to yourself, when you have called yourself out, when you have, done things that you're not overly proud of, right? And allowing yourself to step in your own self-forgiveness, that will build that belonging to you even more deeply. It'll ground you in your values and who you are. And then the last one, number 10, this is really important. Find time in your life for self-reflection. I was on a call last night with my Grand Canyon group, and we were talking about this. I said, self-reflection is huge. Being able to look back and see how far that you have come, being able to see your life as the twists and turns, the navigating through the hards and the beautiful light, that's really, really key to growth. Because we do need to look back and say, like the rearview mirror, we need to look in the rearview mirror and say, wow, look at what I have accomplished. Look at where I have had those hard times where I have tripped up and stood up again. And one of my clients said to me, I have a hard time with self-reflection because I don't want to fall into the trap of that story of what once was. Here's the thing. When you are doing the self-reflection, first of all, do it in a space and a place where you feel empowered. I usually do this when I'm on my paddleboard, where I'm on the summit of a mountain, where I am out for a walk, where it's peace and quiet, where I feel the sense of, I don't know, just a sense of peace, right? I don't do it when there's chaos because chaos creates more chaos. The other thing is, go when you are in a space of self-reflection, do it when you are in a really good, I'm going to call it mood. Like do it when you are feeling empowered, not when you are feeling like, you're really having a hard day and it's just, like everything is coming down on you. So do it from a place of self-empowerment, and also do it from a place where knowing that you are the most beautiful version of yourself at that moment. Right? When we do self-reflection from a place where we're already feeling really hard on ourselves, when we're not fiercely self-compassionate with ourselves, we tend to look at the negative instead of the positive. I want you to look at self-reflection from the space of the positive, right? From like, wow, the empowerment. Look at how far that I have come. It's not about looking at my life from like the victim space. It's looking at my life from the space of survivor and thriver. I'm going to tell you that I have days where it's harder to do than others because I've lived through a lot. And there are days where I'm just like, I can't believe that this happened to me. And yet it's in those moments where I switch it and I say, wow, I can't believe that that's happened for me to become this version of myself where I now belong more deeply with who I am than I ever had before. And I will continue to walk and ground in that space each and every day, showing up this best version of myself for my clients, for my audience, for all of you listening at this moment right now. So there's the difference, right? Let's go through those one more time quickly. Number 1, authenticity. Number 2, find your tribe. Number 3, build relationships. That most important one is with yourself. Number 4, Find that space where you have meaning, contribute in life. Number 5, communicate with honesty, especially with yourself. 6 is setting boundaries. 7 is being very vulnerable and open with who you are. Number 8, acknowledge and embrace your differences, because your differences are your gifts and we need more of those in this world. Number 9, be fiercely self-compassionate each and every day with who you are. Number 10, find that space, that time for reflection. Place those on Post-it notes, put them throughout your home, throughout your car, throughout your work. Learn to be in that space of belonging with yourself more deeply each and every day. So with that, I love you. If you have not shared this podcast with your friends, please do so. Get it out into this world. I need you to do that because you are my wings, right? You are my wings. You help me to build this out with others. And if you have not subscribed, rate, and have gone in to review my podcast, this podcast, your podcast, please do so. I need you to do that as well. That's how we build it out there. Because, who am I without all of you? Who am I without those people listening? I want to build this out into the world. Also, if you are interested in the San Juan retreat, July 26th to the 29th, please message me, Sara at sarahschultencrans.com. Do so immediately so that we can get you in. This is such an incredible retreat outside of Telluride. Me and Florence Williams, like I said, we do everything from adventuring, coaching. It's all inclusive. The rate is incredible. We have not raised it in 3 years. I am really hoping, this is my whole thing. There's this one mountain that's like literally you walk outside the retreat center and you climb up this mountain. And my hope is to climb that one of the mornings and watch the sunrise on top. It's not like it's a huge, over exuberating, what am I trying to say? Not over exuberating. It is over exuberating. It's not an overly difficult climb. I don't believe. I've never done it. That said, I want to go up on top and watch the sunrise with my peeps. And if that is you, please message me and let's get you in. There is also one of my favorite things to do there is to sit in the hot tub that's stream fed. It's warmed by fire and watch the stars fall from the sky. So I'll be doing that too. So if any of you are interested, join us. Let's get you in. It is an incredible time to belong more deeply with who you are, to learn to belong more deeply with who you are, and to find some self-reflection as well. And so I promise you, if it wasn't for these, I don't know where so many of my clients would be today. And I can't imagine not contributing in this world in this way. So I love you. Message me. Let's get you in. Please share this podcast with your friends, with your loved ones, and let's continue this ripple of belonging with the world. First with yourself and belonging with yourself first, right? And then being able to belong in this world in a way that you never have before. So I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day.